Hey, so I'm going to talk about how I lost money by not upgrading my computer sooner. So let me give you a bit of background. I just recently upgraded my 2012 MacBook Pro to a 2015 MacBook Pro. So, we're looking at a 3-year change. Well, 4-year because now it's 2016. So I basically ran the MacBook Pro for 4 years, figuring, hey, why not? It's working, it's fine, no big deal. And I finally was pushed to upgrade because during the summer, especially in the hotter months, when the room was hotter, I don't like using air conditioning, it gets me sick. Anyhow, so during the hotter months, I was doing a lot of webinars and my MacBook just couldn't handle it, having simultaneous video streams coming in from remote locations just tanked the whole thing. And then when doing editing, video editing and so forth, it was slow. And I would get a lot of drop frames on 1080p live video. Not a lot, but enough to annoy you. So I decided to finally bite the bullet and buy a new computer after 4 years. So I was thinking to myself, prior to having purchased this computer, I had thought to myself, well, I'll just extend its life out, right? I'll extend the life out of the computer, save myself some money. In the old days, well, maybe 5 years ago, up until about 5 years ago, I would upgrade my computers every 2 years like clockwork, because I feel at that point in time, I was confident that by upgrading every 2 years, you were going to gain a lot of speed advantages, in the end saving you money. So what happened this time around when I finally got my 2015 Pro, my new one, just last week, I discovered how much faster it is compared to my 2012 model. It is not even close. With regards to the video and the video editing, it's like night and day. It's huge. It's huge. It's going to speed up my workflow tremendously. But what I hadn't counted on was how much faster the new MacBook was relative to the 212 machine. Now, this just doesn't apply to Macs. It applies to any type of computers. You'd be surprised how much faster a 2-3-year-old new computer, that's the way of putting it, is versus the old ones. It's incredibly performant just in day-to-day tasks, whether you're looking at spreadsheets, working with databases, remote databases, local databases, just loading web apps and websites. It has a huge impact. So what I was reminded of is, even though computers are very, very fast these days, if you are a professional working in the field, all those little delays, those tiny little delays that you're going to get with an older computer, the web pages load in 2 seconds instead of half a second. The database loads, instead of going like this when you press the button, it goes that type of thing. Multiply that by 100, 200, 500 a day. It starts to add up. So it wastes your time and actually weighs more heavily on you, psychologically speaking. When you have a super snappy, fast computer, it's just much more pleasant to work with. When you're in a better mood, the quality of your work will be better, the longer you'll be able to work. So in the end, though I extended the life of my 212 MacBook Pro for 4 years, a little bit more than 4.5 years since when I bought it, in the end, I lost money, I think, because if I would have bought this 2015 last year, my ability and speed to put out my work would have increased tremendously. And not only would I have had a much more relaxing process in doing my work, I would have produced better work in the end because I would have put more time in to be able to do better edits, cleaner edits, better transitions, etc., etc., etc. But just in my day-to-day tasks would have been much, much better because instead of waiting around for the computer to process something, it just comes in. So in the end, saving that money I think ended up costing me money. It's hard to measure. It's almost impossible to measure. But I decided from now on, because I've been reminded by this recent purchase, that I'm no longer going to be extending my upgrade cycle to 4 years anymore. That's silly. I'm just costing myself a lot of frustration, time, every 2 years max for me. Again, this applies to professional developers, professional users, people who, like me, who have a very limited time. So speed is everything. I have unlimited work to do. If you get into the business world, whether you're a contractor, whether you have your own web apps or websites, whether you have your own business, what you'll see in that situation is that time, your time is the most precious thing that you have. And anything that you can do to shorten up the amount of time you have to spend to get something done, it's well worth it. So again, by saving money, by extending the life of my 2012 MacBook Pro up until now, 2016, late 2016, that 4.5 years of using the same machine probably cost me a significant amount of time and quality in terms of the end product. I'm pretty sure now that I have this ultra fast Mac, relatively speaking, I will be able to produce much better content going forward, just because the editing is going to be so much easier. Just to give you an idea, to render out a 10-minute 1080p video with my old MacBook, we were looking at 15 minutes to get it done. With the new machine, you're looking at 2.5, maybe 3 minutes to get it rendered out. That's huge. Multiply that times 5 videos, 10 videos, that's a lot of time. And more importantly, I would say, more importantly, is the ability for me to just, like butter, do all my edits and all my cuts and scrub the videos, pull up secondary screens and another monitor, so on and so forth. This is well worth the extra price. That's pretty much it for this vlog. Bye-bye.